We have 158 people. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So great. Well, listen, thank you everybody for joining us, teachers and students alike. Folks will keep joining us. So if you have questions, you can definitely put them in the chat and we can go through those. But happy College Day, right? This is so exciting. I mean, we see the snaps. We just got our yellow paint in front of the school repainted, right? Because at our school, you know that you're going to college, or you at least have the option of going to college. Our job is to make sure you're ready to go and be successful. And so we have a couple cool things today. I'm going to show a video of some college cheers for some classrooms that submitted those. But we have a really special guest. So I would love to introduce Miss Antoinette Pena, and she is a college graduate, and she would love to spend a few minutes just sharing her story about going to college and what that was like. So, Miss Antoinette, go ahead and take it away.
Good morning, friends. Oh, can you turn down the volume on yours?
Oh yeah, because you're in the same room.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thank you for having me this morning and hopping on this call. Just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Antoinette Pena, and I grew up in this neighborhood, and I happened to be visiting my friend, Miss Bautista, so she asked me to join you today. A little bit about me. I grew up, like I said, in the Evergreen area. I went to Laurelwood Elementary School way back when, before many of you were born. And then I went to Leyva Middle School. And after Leyva, I went to Silver Creek High School, which I loved going to and made lots of friends there, including Miss Bautista. So we met in high school. We were both involved in leadership, student leadership, and I was the student body treasurer at the time. And Miss Bautista, what was your role? I don't remember. She was on some committee of some sort, but we were both very involved in our school, putting on events for other students and representing students similar to the way the government represents us as citizens. So after Silver Creek High School, I applied to many colleges, and I decided I wanted to stay in California for my college experience, but I wanted to get out of San Jose. So even though I got accepted to San Diego, or I'm sorry, even though I got accepted to San Jose State, I decided to go to Cal Poly. So I am a Mustang. And I decided to study aeronautical engineering because while I was in high school, I really enjoyed science and math. And I thought maybe that I would like to become an aeronautical engineer. And an aeronautical engineer, do you know what they do? If you do, type it in the chat. Let's see if anybody knows.
Sorry, I had to pause the chat for a minute because
What are the responses we're
some
getting?
of our kiddos are
Nothing?
typing in a bunch of different things.
An aeronautical engineer designs airplanes and spacecrafts. So I was really interested in space. So I thought I wanted to work for NASA and build an airplane and design one. So I studied aeronautical engineering for a little bit, but I was also every summer coming back here to San Jose, and I was working with my former math teacher from high school, and I was tutoring high school students in math over the summer. And I decided that being a teacher was really fun, and I really liked explaining math to younger people. So I changed my major and I decided to become a teacher. But instead of teaching math, I decided to teach science because I loved science so much and I liked learning new things. So I studied to be a teacher, and I became a teacher after I graduated from college. And I moved to Florida. I taught 8th grade science at a middle school in Florida. And then I moved to Washington, D.C. because I was selected for a fellowship as a teacher to work for the government for 1 year. So I worked for the government for 1 year. And if you can see my background, that was the year that I met Mr. Bill Nye, the science guy, everybody's favorite substitute, right? So I met Bill Nye at the White House Science Fair because I took some of my students to the science fair at the White House when President Obama was in charge. One of the other experiences I had as a fellow was I got to go to lots of science conferences. And does anybody know who that is in that other picture? The robot looking guy? You can put it in the chat. Oh, chat's off. Never mind. No, that is not a character from Among Us. That is Moby from, what, anybody know? Brain Pop. So he should look familiar to you if you watch any Brain Pop videos. So I worked for the government a little bit, just telling people what teachers are really experiencing in the classroom and how the government can help and what programs students like. And after that, I went back into the classroom and I was teaching 8th grade science in Washington, D.C. for a few years. But then I decided that I wanted to influence education at a larger level. And so I moved into working into nonprofits. So one of the nonprofits that I worked for is code.org. If any of you have done some of their activities like Hour of Code. I've also worked for a nonprofit organization that does after school STEM programs for San Diego. So I was managing a staff of 20 instructors, so similar to what a principal does, but after school programs. And we had our own labs on our own campus, and it was optional for students. And then I also created some programs that were specifically for girls who are interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So I created a drone program for girls in San Diego. And I also created a robotics program for girls in San Diego so that they have an opportunity to participate in these things. And now I work for a company called Big Picture Learning. And what we do is we help schools across the US think about how they're teaching students. So we encourage the schools to adopt models similar to yours, where you're doing project-based learning everywhere. And a lot of the high schools we work with offer internships. So they are not even on campus 2 days a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have internships with the local business or an organization, and they have mentors that they work with. So I really encourage you to really explore things that you're interested in. I should mention that I am the first person in my family to graduate from high school. I'm the first person in my family to attend and graduate from college. And thanks to those experiences, I've been offered all these cool opportunities to meet famous people like Bill Nye and Moby, and really continue to learn. And every day I'm learning something new about science and also helping schools along the way. So, and I think we have time for a couple questions if the chat is open, or Mr. Armstrong, if you can navigate that.
Sure,
Or,
I can turn it back on. Let's see. So if you have a question that you would love to ask, go ahead and put it in the chat now. Or you can raise your hand and I can call on you. So one of the questions from Diana was about physics specifically, and do you have knowledge of physics?
oh, I was muted, sorry. I do have knowledge of physics. I took that class in high school, and I just really liked learning how things moved and why they moved certain ways. And when I wanted to do aeronautical engineering, that was really important. So I also took physics classes in college.
Great. There was another question about how did you get involved in working with the government?
I was a teacher, and then I saw an announcement that the government was looking for teachers to work in the government for just 1 year. So that's called a fellowship. And I applied, and I didn't get it the first time, but then I applied again, and then I got selected. So I moved to Washington, D.C.
So you definitely had to be persistent, right? Which is one of
Definitely.
our K-Smith habits. So
Yeah.
that is very, very clear. Thank you for highlighting that.
Mhm.
Jayla is asking, what was one of your favorite things about college?
Let's see. Well, Cal Poly is in a town called San Luis Obispo. It is halfway to LA. So just meeting a lot of people that are from different communities, people that aren't like me, people that don't look like me. And then just being away from home and experiencing something new and learning to take care of myself was really an experience and something I value, but also being close enough to home where if I was missing home, I could drive home and spend time with family and friends.
There was a question from Martin. This is a great question. If you continued with your aerospace major, where
Ooh.
would you see yourself ending up if you didn't become a teacher? Great question, Martin. Thank you.
Good question. I probably, well, my goal was to work for NASA, and I really wanted to help build like whatever the new space shuttle was to help astronauts get to space and study space. If I wasn't working for NASA, I might work for a company like Northrop Grumman that designs the airplanes that we use to fly across the country to travel and also for military planes.
Very cool. Another question was, what was your initial motivation to go to college?
I just knew that if I went to college, I would have a lot more opportunities that were available to me if versus just graduating from high school. So I didn't want to limit myself, and it was something that I knew would make my parents proud. So I kept persisting, and it was hard, but it was definitely worth it.
There's quite a few questions about sort of whatever those hardest challenges were with
Mm,
persisting through college.
yeah. I think just going to college and not having all the answers, like, because nobody in my family had done it before. So there was nobody in my family that I could go to for advice. So I really leaned on the other adults in my life. So teachers, friends, anybody who was doing something cool that even if they weren't related to me, I just ask a lot of questions. I asked my teachers to hook me up with like mentors, people that were studying things that I was interested in, just so I could learn from other people.
I'm really happy that you brought that up because one of the things that we find when our students leave our campus where they're very comfortable talking with adults and teachers, when they get to middle school, one of the biggest challenges is they come back and they say, "Well, I'm struggling in this class." And our first question is, did you go talk with your teacher? Did you advocate for yourself? Did you walk in and say, here's what my challenge is? Did you ever find experiences like that where you had to go in and advocate for yourself and say, here's some support that I need?
Definitely. So I switched schools between seventh and eighth grade. I actually lived in the Berryessa area for a little bit. And before I moved to Evergreen, when I moved to Leva, I just got placed in a bunch of random classes where they had space. And I noticed that those classes were too easy for me. And my parents didn't know that it was an option for them to come to school and talk to my teachers or talk to the administration and ask if I could be placed in another class. They just thought that that's what was available. So but the more I talked to my teachers, the more the teachers realized that, yeah, we do have other classes available for you. So they were able to help fix my schedule and put me in classes where I was actually challenged and I was having more fun in school.
That's great. Yeah, no, I love that you bring up that you really did have to advocate and help your family understand that
Mhm.
you had to build some confidence for them as well. I mean, one of the things our families, they obviously love their kids and care so much about their success. They don't always know what the right thing to do is, when
Right.
it comes to advocating. So, what advice would you give if you're talking to, especially some of our older students who are going to middle school soon? What advice would you give them to help their families feel more comfortable advocating for their academic success and programs?
I would say it's always okay to ask questions. There's no bad questions. And the adults in your life, especially at your school, are always willing to help you achieve your goals. So just communicate and let people know what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for the advice. Let's see. Caitlin says, "I bet you work so hard."
I do, but I also make time for friends and family, and I like to travel. So there's a way to balance it.
Yeah, no, that's an important point, right? Is that hard work is really valuable and it makes us feel great, but we also have to find time to take time for ourselves, right? So
Exactly.
I'd like to ask you maybe one last question is how do you, because you're very accomplished, right? You have lots of things that are going so well, all because of the amazing effort that you've put in. how do you find time to take care of yourself and your family, especially in the current scenario, right? I mean, our students are online all day. It's a real challenge. So, what are the things that you do to take care of yourself?
I make an effort to go outside every once in a while, even if it's in the middle. I work from home and I worked from home before COVID. So just stepping away from my computer or whatever devices I have and just going outside for fresh air. I live in San Diego, so I can drive to the beach pretty easily and just go for a walk. Um, Sometimes I, intentionally put my phone away, so and then pick up a book, so that I'm not looking at a screen because my eyes get really tired from looking at a screen all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can see, I mean, my eyes are fine, but these glasses block the blue light, so I have to wear them because my eyes are so tired. Uh,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate that though, because it's some very simple things. It could be, and turning off your device is a really important thing to highlight, right?
Mhm.
Again, because learning is all digital right now, and we're looking at screens. And so, even PE right now for our students is
Yeah.
through Zoom. And so I think turning things off and saying, let's do a puzzle, let's draw, let's talk, let's
Yeah.
walk around the house, even if we can't go outside, are really important.
Or pick up a magazine, something that you can hold and like actually turn the pages to, I think is just relaxing sometimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I'm trying to look and see if there are any other. There's a lot of comments about just kind of having the same interests and being inspired by the work that you're doing in science. A lot of questions about government and NASA. Um, Here's a good one, actually. I think our teaching staff would appreciate this. What do you think is the hardest part about being a teacher?
There's always something to be done. And you can't turn off, a teacher can't turn off their brain and think about how do I make this better for my students and how do I make a difference. So even in the summer, teachers are going to professional development. We're just always striving to make the experience for our students better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why most of us don't sleep very well at night because we're always
Right.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
This morning I woke up thinking about this meeting, right? Because we wanted to make sure it's valuable for our students. So I
Mhm.
appreciate you highlighting that. Let's see, let's do one more question. Let's see. What's a place that you traveled to that was really special to you or that stands out? This is from Savannah. Good question, Savannah. Thank you.
Oh, good question. Yeah, actually this time last year, I was getting ready to travel to Italy. So I traveled to Italy last November and I was invited by Microsoft Italy and um, the US Embassy in Italy to be a hackathon guest speaker, or super coach as they called me. So I started in the very northern part of Italy and traveled to 10 different cities leading hackathons for girls. So I met over 900 girls across the country across 3 weeks. So just giving them the same kind of talk that I'm doing here, like study what you're passionate about, follow your dreams and anything's possible.
No, that's amazing. It sounds incredible. I'm jealous. But I just, we only have a few minutes left, but I just want to thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate you sharing your experience, and thank you to all the kids. I mean, there's 250 on the call right now, and the questions were all very thoughtful. I just turned off the chat because it started to get a little crazy, um, but they were very thoughtful, and so thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm happy to share my email if any students want to direct questions my way.
That would be great. We can definitely do that. So thank you so much again. Enjoy the rest of your stay with Miss Bautista.
Thank you.
Pretty great. She's got an amazing family as well. So yeah, thank you again. And
Ah,
we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Miss Antoinette, and we're going to show a quick video at the end here with some college cheers.
bye, friends. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, everybody. We're going to give this a try. I have a video to share, and thank you so much for our classrooms that put together some cheers. So here we go.
Give me a B. 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 O. O. W. W. Rainbow. No car. Aloha. Aloha. Oi means the best. One, two, three. That's the way we spell success. Get up and get out of your seat. Break it down to the root letter B. C-S-U-B, C-S-U-B, C-S-U-B. Whoa, root letter. Beep, beep. Go. You. You there. Go, kiss your bum. Say that again. Go, 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 go. Yeah, good job. Awesome. Ready, go. Give me A. Give me C.
San Jose, San Jose, San Jose, S J S U S J S U S J S U. Go Spartan!
Let's go Stanford. Let's go Stanford. Let's go Stanford. Let's go Stanford. Go Stanford. Reverend never Stanford ready.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the cheers. And again, thank you to Ms. Batista for helping us connect with Ms. Antoinette for that amazing presentation. Have a wonderful day. And I wish we could all yell, "We are college bound." But I know you are, and you're amazing boys and girls. And thank you so much to all our teachers. And have a wonderful day. And we'll see you on Morning Pride. Bye.